Welcome to Q&A Mondays here at MH News. I'm your host, Matt Haslam. If you'd like your question read on the show, please email us at questions@mhnews.info. And if you'd like to see our episodes every Monday through Thursday, please check out mhnews.info for more info. First question here today comes from Mike Rita. What's the safest way to film a car chase? The safest way to film a car chase would be to just go slow. Be safe with it. Don't go incredibly fast because you'll end up getting tickets and getting arrested and a bunch of other crapola that you don't want to have happen to you. So I would just basically grab a bunch of cameras. If you don't have a bunch of cameras to do a bunch of different angles all at once, I would just pick out a section of highway or interstate and just keep going round and round and keep going down that same stretch of highway over and over and over again until you have enough footage. What I would do is I would basically pass out cars on the left and right side. I know it's going to be different cars. There's nothing you can do about that. If you cut together sloppy, you're not going to have a good shot. It's all about editing actually on this one, not about the actual shooting. If you have more cameras, that's great. But basically you want to just shoot that same stretch of highway until you have enough shots and then edit together. But go a safe speed. There's no reason to go incredibly fast and weave in and out because then you're just being a danger to everybody else, including yourself. So basically just go slow, and you can always speed it up later on in post-production and do like a fast-forward type effect on it. There's no reason to go fast here. You're just being unsafe. But if you do have the budget, please close down the road or find a road nearby that is kind of already closed. For instance, there's a town nearby where I live that is completely abandoned. So I get to basically have roads all to myself all day long, and it doesn't take that much to close it off, and doesn't take that much of a budget to close it off, so we're able to film car chases, we're able to film car scenes there without too much trouble. So maybe find a spot like that in your area. But without it closed down, normally if they do it on a Hollywood film, it's already closed down and they have 20-some drivers all with headsets on that intercom to each other, back and forth, what everybody's doing. So generally you don't have a problem with being a danger. So but if you're doing it on your own for indie filmmakers stuff, then just do it safely and speed it up in post-production. Next question comes from Joachim Jibbo Iwerskog. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, buddy. Have an easier name next time, that's what I say. How do they do the effect when a person freezes in mid-air and then the camera spins around him or her? By how they do this effect is basically having a shikes load of cameras all in a row or in a big huge circles. Generally it's GoPros, but you can also do it with DSLRs, or I've even seen it with Red Epic cameras, which come in at generally around $25,000 cameras a piece, but you need at least 50 of them. Whatever you shoot with, you need at least 50 of them. Yeah, this is not a cheap effect, okay? First, I think this was introduced at like NASCAR at the Daytona 500 a couple years back, and now everybody's like, I want to do it, and it's really expensive to do. So you can't do it with mixed cameras. So if you have like a bunch of DSLRs and a bunch of GoPros, you can't mix them. You need 50 of one type of camera. It's insane. But they do make things to mount all your cameras to for that. There's a great video on how to do this, or at least how they do it, in the description below. They do an awesome job, better than I can do here, because I don't have 52 GoPros. I'm sorry, I just don't have that. Most people don't. Next question, Mike Strong asked, how do you go about finding a crew for films? I'm an actor, but find it hard to find a crew. Is there websites or a blog post? Of course there's websites or blog posts, buddy. Just go on Google. Really, that's seriously, just, I don't know why you didn't do that already. But what I do, I'm not like a professional actor. I do acting for my own music videos and to be the host of MH News here, but I'm not an actor generally. So basically what I did was I went to my state film board, I registered with them, and I live in Pennsylvania in the United States here. So there's a Pennsylvania State Film Board, and there's also a film board for Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. which are the two main cities in Pennsylvania here. So I went to the Philadelphia one because I'm closer to that area, and it's the Philadelphia Area Film Board website, and you can register with them that you're whatever you are. So there's a list of things you can pick from. You can pick as many as you want. Some of the things I chose were cameraman, director, and editor, and stuff like that. And basically, the way it goes, you can register as an actor on that website as well. So if there's a director looking for professional actors, they can go to the film board and ask, hey, I need a couple actors. And they'll direct the director, film board will direct the director to the website to check out a bunch of resumes, basically, quote unquote, and he'll pick the best. And that's the way it goes normally. So if you're an actor needing a crew, then go to the state film board and ask them, I need a couple of crew members. Can you recommend anybody? And they go and they say, here's a list of them. Pick and choose who you want. But another great way to find crew members is just to hang out and reach out to some local news crews, reach out to some local production companies, and just ask them, There's plenty of people looking as indie filmmakers. Look on YouTube, look in your local area, just try to find out as indie as possible, I think, you're looking for, because you might not have a budget, but that's the way I would go about doing it. There's plenty of websites on it and plenty of blog posts. Shannon Michael Rockefeller asks, SAG or no SAG in Louisiana? SAG is Screen Actors Guild here, at least in America, I know it is. Maybe in something else somewhere else, I don't know. But SAG is a great organization. It's fantastic to be a part of. It's only for actors, though, I believe. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's only for actors. I don't know about filmmakers and directors and stuff like that. But just an example here, I'm a part of ASCAP, which is a music group, and it's sort of like SAG. And basically what SAG does is they set an quote-unquote minimum wage for actors. So if an actor's hired, you can say, well, I'm a SAG member, and you have to go by SAG mandatory prices or above. You can get paid more than what SAG's telling the directors and producers to pay you, but it kind of sets a minimum wage for your acting. You can also, I believe, take jobs of lesser money if you want to. If you specifically choose to take jobs for less money, you can certainly do that. There's nothing stopping you, I believe, from doing that. Basically, you just go about your normal day and just don't tell SAG about it, maybe. I don't know how it goes, but basically, if you're on a production or something like that, and the director or a producer comes up to you and says, we don't want to pay you this certain price, you can always come in and say, I'm a member of SAG here, that's the price that they told me I should be charging, and if you don't like that price, I'm going to give a call to my representative from SAG, and they're going to give a call to you, and they don't like that, so they'll end up just paying. But before it gets to that point, there's a lot of nicer ways you can do it, I think, but if it gets to that point, you can always just say, I'm a member of SAG, and a lot of times, directors and producers will end up looking to SAG first rather than going through all the bull crap of going to Craigslist or other mediums to find actors. They're going to go to SAG first because they know SAG actors are much more professional actors. So they'll look to SAG and they'll say, we need this many actors, we need a girl actor of this, and it really goes down to maybe sometimes what their style is, what they look like, and all that kind of stuff. So they'll reach out to SAG and they'll say, I need an actor of this caliber, I need an actress of this caliber, and SAG will recommend their members out to the directors and producers, and right away the directors and producers know SAG prices, so you'll end up getting paid a much higher rate than if you do it on your own. So I say become a member of SAG. There's no disadvantage to it, I think. But please comment in this section below if you know something that I don't. Next question comes from Matt Messino. How is it possible to be a director of a project while also being a main character? I do this all the time. Generally, just have a screen off camera frame and you can see what's going on. I know in a scene in Go My Friend, I was walking in front of the camera was off to my left, and I was walking from camera right to camera left through the frame, and I ended up putting an external monitor in front of me out of frame of the camera That way I can see what the camera's picking up over here without looking over off to my left. And I end up seeing how the camera looked and stuff like that as I was walking. Sometimes that's a great way to do it. Another way I do it all the time is just to film a scene if I want to be kind of inconspicuous and not really have a big presence there on location or whatever I'm doing, or even on MHNews here. I'll just turn the screen around really quick, and on my Canon T5i I can turn the screen around and I can see off to the side. Like right now I can see myself, but you're seeing me. You can't see that monitor. So that's something I can do, as well as I can just tell my crew, film it this way, and then I'll stop the scene and go in behind the camera, take a look at the shot we just got, see if I like it or not. If I don't like it, then we can reshoot it, and it kind of goes a little bit slower that way, and generally you want to plan for about a third of the time extra, just because, like whatever you're planning, add 1/3 of that, like 1.33 to times whatever time you're planning on filming a scene, times it by 1.33, and that's probably how long it's going to take you, because you're going to need to go behind the camera and look at the scene every time. But that's basically how you do it. It's a little bit harder, but it's still and it's actually common in the film industry. There's a lot of directors nowadays that are the actor in the scene. Hawaii Five-0 just did an episode where one of their characters was the director of that episode. I know movies do it all the time. There's a movie called Seven or something like that with an elevator, and one of the main characters in the elevator was the director of the entire film. So they do it all the time. It's very common. So that's our questions for today. And if you'd like your question read on the show, please email us at questions@mhnews.info. Thanks for joining us, and see us back here every Monday through Thursday for brand new episodes. Have a good one.